Well, hello everyone. Welcome to the Vision Possible monthly Q&A live stream.
Yes. And I have a giant, like I said earlier, like an anime kind of a swoop on my hair.
I think it's a Johnny Bravo
right here. Like, oh, it fell away. Wait, oh, there it is. It's like I'm falling.
You're setting a trend. It's a new hairstyle.
Isn't that cool?
Everyone's going to be doing it. All the kids are going to be doing it.
There's like an animated sound, like an animated. Pretty cool.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you're here. If you have a question, please put it in the chat. We'll be happy to answer it. And Nathaniel,
you take that away.
I'm taking his job.
I was going to say, I mean, you can host tonight if you want, Butch.
I apologize. No, you're much better than I am.
Awesome. And I see Carly Hartman has joined us as well. Welcome, Carly.
Hello.
Hi, Carly.
Hi, Carly.
All right. So, yes, we are live, meaning that we will take your questions tonight. So no matter where you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, or XOTV, you can leave your questions in the comments. Also, I'm going to put up on the screen instructions on how you can send those in. So down at the bottom there, you can send in your question, text at VP question. That's the body of your text message to 81010, and it'll prompt you to sign up. You can just follow the instructions there and submit your question. We've already got some coming in. Hey, Aaron, good to see you. Merry Christmas to you as well. But anyone have anything that's on their heart before we start taking any questions you'd like to share?
Well, I would like to just say, we're coming up on the end of 2021. Many of us older folks can't believe that we're even at the year 2021.
I know.
But the years, the days, weeks, months go by so fast. We hate to see anybody moving into the next year without having made plans to get your vision off the ground. I mean, that's why we do these Vision Possible videos. You can watch them here on Vision Possible or on Facebook every week. And we do these Q&As once a month, on XOTV as well. But guys, listen, we want to help you make your daydream your day job and get your vision out into the marketplace. So let's just talk about some stuff tonight. Let's hear what's on your heart. If you don't want to get a hold of us, if you're not getting on this live stream tonight, let's get on our YouTube channel and ask us questions there. But we'd love to help you guys get your vision out there. So don't go into 2022 unprepared is all I want to say.
I can't believe you said 2022.
I know.
That freaks me out. But I just wanted to add this, that
we should have flying cars by now.
I know. I hear things, that you have self-parking cars, self-driving cars.
Getting there so close.
Anyway, but I just hear this over and over and over again, even just lately. Oh my God, it's November. Oh my gosh, it's December.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't even finished my goals or even attained any goals for 2021. So let's just start off fresh and not let that happen in 22. You've got a full year. You got 12 months now, starting in a couple of weeks. So let's get going and let's do something.
Amen.
That's right. Carly, Ryan, have anything to share?
Well, I'm just glad that you guys are joining us tonight. As they already said, it's good to reflect on the past year and think ahead towards the next year. And just want to echo what Butch said about don't let another year go by where, in 2022, you're like, oh man, it's already November, December, and I haven't actually taken any practical action on what's in my heart and what I want to get into the world. So we hope you guys really start to lean into this process and get the most you can from this, as well as all the other resources we have available. We've got the Protegé program. We've got the video library. There's a lot of stuff we're putting out there. So we really want that to be the way that you guys can make some traction getting towards your dream and your vision.
Yeah, I was just going to say, for those of you who might be just stumbling across this stream, we're the Vision Possible team. For more information on us, you can go to visionpossible.net. But, really what we're excited about is helping to see your vision become reality. And so we've got resources, books, and our Protegé program. So go to visionpossible.net, check all of that out. But yeah, that's what our passion is. Sometimes you just need that shot in the arm, just that kind of motherly figure to just say, hey, get yourself going, get up off the couch and get going and do something. And that's what we love. We're not professional teachers by any means, but we've been there, we've done it. And that's what we do, is we help you get your vision out of your heart, or out of your head into your heart and into the marketplace. And that's us. That's Vision Possible.
Is this the year that we started online, or was that last year? I'm trying to remember.
We started as far as what, doing our videos?
Yeah. It was
Yeah.
this-
It was this.
Last
Yeah,
was
just
about a
a
year
year.
ago.
That's
That
really
was-
awesome. A year.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to say, I think we should, you know how we all have alarms on our phones? I think one should be, get up, you got things to do. Get going. Could you imagine that at 6 a.m.? Get up out of that bed.
Just a video of Julieann Hartman getting people roused and ready in the morning.
That would be a little bit
Uh-huh.
intense. Put it that way. It's a bit intense.
It's funny you say that. So this weekend I was talking to somebody. They've been trying to get me to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and join them at 5:30 at the pool every single morning. And I've
Okay.
just been putting it
That's
off. And I'm like, no, what?
That's rough, okay? In the pool.
That is really rough. That's
But you live
early.
in
Like,
Colorado. Is this an indoor pool? You live in Colorado.
yes. And no, it's an indoor pool. It's an indoor pool. But like, and I love swimming. Like, that's definitely something that I would do. But 5:30 is rough. So this morning I set an alarm for 5:15 to just feel what it's going to be like to do this. And let me tell you, it was not fun or easy. But I'm setting my mind to it. So come right after Christmas, pool 5:30 every
That's
morning.
great. You
Wow.
go.
Yep.
I'm sorry our phone rang.
Yeah, my
there.
phone just
we just
rang.
what kind of professional situation
I
we're
know,
running
that
here.
was
Oh my
bad.
gosh. So many people are
What
calling
do
us.
not disturb is for.
I know, exactly.
But no, I mean, before we take questions, I think this is a great example of, we all, like all of us on this stream, we live what we preach. And so, like, think about it. A year ago this time, we were all together in California. A few weeks, it will be a year from when we all did this. And we sat and we brainstormed and thought through, what is 2021 going to look like for Vision Possible? Obviously, with COVID and all the restrictions and the things that were happening, we had to change our model. And again, this is about adapting. Like, you guys, you might have a vision, you might have something in your heart, but because of external circumstances, you might have to adapt. And so we changed our entire business model this year. And look, we're a year later now, successfully implemented that. But look at what it took. It took discipline, dedication, filming videos, posting videos, right? But that's how it would be for a lot of your goals is, hey, even reanalyze. What are some goals you made earlier this year? Do you have to shift the model? Do you have to shift what you're doing to accomplish that?
What's really cool about this year as well, we were able to go back out and do live conferences again. And we had such a great, successful one. I think we had 2 this year, didn't
No,
we?
we
do
had
it?
Seattle. The last one we just did
We did
was
Seattle,
in
but
Washington.
Yeah,
And
but
it
we
was
did Florida
amazing.
as well.
No, we didn't. That was the year before.
The year before was Florida.
Yeah, but I just
sorry.
want to say,
Sorry,
if you are watching and
Yeah.
you were the one in the Washington
Seattle
area,
Washington,
the
yeah.
Seattle, Washington, wow, you guys inspired us so much. As much as I know we were there to inspire you, but you inspired us like crazy. And we are so thankful that we got to come, and we can't wait to come back.
That's so true. It was an awesome event. Thanks everyone for coming out to that too. If you're watching right now, it's just a phenomenal event. All right. Well, if you guys are ready, we've got some questions.
I am
Yes.
ready to rock and roll.
If you're watching right now and you have questions for us, that's what we're here for. This is our monthly Q&A. Type those in the comments on YouTube if you're watching there, or text them in. The instructions are down below, scrolling across the screen. But this first question is for Butch. So the question is, do I need an agent to sell a show in Hollywood?
Wow, good question. The typical answer is yes. I will say, do you need to follow things the traditional way all the time? Absolutely not. You can sell a show without an agent. It's just a lot harder. It's already hard enough to sell a show in Hollywood when you just have a great idea, but it's not just the great idea. It's getting the meeting, and then once you have the meeting and somebody wants to buy your idea, someone has to negotiate that deal for you. How many bad shows are on TV?
A lot.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter what the idea is. It's great if it's great. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But a lot of bad shows get on TV because the people behind the show have the right connections there. They know somebody. They know somebody who knows somebody. They get into it's getting into the room is your main focus.
Yeah.
And if an agent can get you into that room, that's why you need an agent. I was very good at my craft for many, many years. I could work on animation like nobody's business. I could draw, I could do whatever. but I just wasn't making as much money or getting the connections I needed to, because I was the guy at the desk doing the work 8-10 hours a day. I couldn't go out and schmooze and make the phone calls, and didn't really, even if I could make a phone call, I didn't know who to call.
Right.
When I finally got an agent, they could do all that work for me while I was doing the work. And so,
For a small little fee.
well, they do.
Well,
they
no,
get a-
they do charge you.
Agents get a percentage, but like you
Which
pay.
you want to, because they're going to
Yeah.
take care of your contracts and they're going to do all that work for
Exactly.
you.
I'd rather pay an agent 10% than try and negotiate the deal myself and lose 50%.
Yeah,
You know,
it's like-
so
We think we know all the language that needs to be in a contract, and we don't, because these contracts are set for life and life of
a lot
the
of them
project.
are.
Yeah, and so you want to make sure that the life of the project, go like, look at Fairly Odd Parents. The first time we signed the contract was what, in 1997? Okay.
Yep. And now here it is 24 years later.
Yeah, and now they have the live action Fairly Odd Parents,
which is coming out in March of
right,
2022.
but our contract lasts for the life of the project. And
Mhm.
so right now, 24 years is probably
As
older
old
than
as some of the people
that are
watching. I
watching.
know, exactly.
So you want to make sure you have good representation.
Absolutely. And yeah, so I would say, if you're just starting out, you want to be smart and have as many smart people around you as possible. Yeah, but Butch, what if they try and rip me off? Listen, everybody tries to rip people off in every profession, not just in Hollywood. I'm not saying you're going to get ripped off, but what I'm saying is at least try to get some smart people around you while you're trying to pursue your idea and your vision. Become a business person as well as a creative one. Bum, ba, bum.
That's good. There's a lot of benefits to doing it on your own, but survival is not one of them.
No, well, it's so hard to do it on your own.
It really is, because it really comes down to, it's like, there's so many studios out there. There's so many production companies. You're not going to know who they are, but your agents have all these connections already.
And by the way, a lot of studios won't even see you
Yeah.
without an agent, because an agent lends an air of credibility and legality to your situation. If you just walk in off the street, they're not going to see you because they don't want to get sued. They don't want any legal problems, because then you, as the creator, can say, "Hey, I pitched that idea 2 years ago." And with an agent, at least they have a record and a
They
reputation.
do it for your protection.
Yeah, an agent lends a lot of credibility. If they have a reputation, that's good. That helps you.
It's good. Nathan and Tommy, I see your questions. We'll get to those in 1 second. I want to segue that conversation into this, because I know we get this question a lot, and I see it even on my videos that we post. It's how important is a college degree to doing what you want to do? So, we see this, like, people asking, hey, do I need to go to school? Do I need to study? Do I need to do this, do that? It's kind of that similar question. And I think the answer is it depends, right? It depends on what you're doing. Absolutely not. Like some places like Tesla and Amazon, they're even preferring people without degrees now, and they'd rather they train you. And then there's other degrees, like highly technical things like a doctor or a lawyer, where you do need to pursue higher education. So you need to know what that is for you. And but don't feel like a requirement or a prerequisite to getting your vision done is a formal piece of paper, because it's not. It's if you feel called to do that, if you feel that you need to do it, there are so many resources today for you to pursue, to learn what you need to do to get that job done, get that business launched, write that book, whatever it may be. But again, it depends. Some things you do need to have a degree for. But we got a couple of questions coming in here. So we're going to start with Nathan's.
Again, my
Nathan's
hair,
degree.
the swoop thing is on
Oh
my
my
hair.
gosh.
It's just
Or
old.
switch seats.
The Road Runner. I look like, ooh, that's cool. That's like an Elvis thing.
And it's a
It
Johnny
matches the color perfectly. It's just
Totally.
it's the black.
I know.
It's so good.
Exactly. That's the color I'm asking for at the
Uh-huh.
beauty parlor next time.
There you go. All right. So our first question is from Nathan Wiggins on Facebook or on YouTube. Julieann, I saw your video where you said you beat procrastination in your 20s. I believe that was your Vision Killers video. How did you beat it?
Ooh, that's so good. Called discipline. I had to learn how to discipline myself.
How'd you learn that, and why'd you learn
Well, okay, it came through physical fitness. I started, I knew this, like, okay, no matter what happened in my day, since I love to work out, and of course it makes you look good, I never missed a workout, but I'd sure miss other things that I needed to do. I had to learn how to take that discipline that was in my working out and put it into other parts of my life. But I didn't know that till a friend of mine actually said that to me one day. They said, you're not lazy and you're not, you procrastinate. That's like if we're going to label you. But you really do have discipline. You just don't think you do because you have it in other areas of your life. And I'm like, you're right, I do. So I started changing the focus of like, how bad do I want those things that I'm trying to go after, right? How bad do I want them? Well, I want them really bad. What am I willing to do to go after them? Am I willing to stop the stupid talk in my head saying, oh, there's probably someone else doing it, or I don't feel like doing it today, or, I'll pick it up some other time. Those are the voices, or whatever you want to call it, the thoughts in my head that would literally kill my vision and stop me from going forward. So I had to get a hold of that and say no. And of course, being a Christian and learning about my authority and learning about the principles of the kingdom of God, I really started gaining so much confidence in myself that I could even fight my own self or go against my own self and say, no, you're not going to do this. You're not going to succumb to the pattern that you always succumb to. You're not going to be known as someone who says they want to, but they never do it. And there was a lot of self-talking going on. And again, then I started taking note of what am I disciplined in? Well, I'm disciplined in doing the things that I like to do, that I know that are not, they're not going to make or break my career. So I started taking that into saying, all right, I know that I can discipline myself in the things I need to do on a daily basis. And so I started with, one thing. I didn't just like pour everything over one day. It was like, that's it. I don't procrastinate anymore. I'm totally disciplined. No, it was a process for me because I'd done it for so long, and I was complacent in it. And you don't want to be that. You want to get on top of that and not allow yourself to delay your life in the things that you've been called to do, because that's exactly what procrastination does. It delays you. And in the world that we're living in today, you do not need to be delayed by
There is
anything.
no time for that.
I think you're on mute, Nathaniel.
Exactly. Nope. Thank you. No, I was saying that's an awesome answer. Is there anyone else that would have, a similar experience maybe of how you beat procrastination, like getting over that hump?
You could never, Butch cannot comment on that. He has never in his life procrastinated for anything. Never. He can't, I swear he was born this way.
Maybe a few times. I don't know. No, I look at it this way. Everything's an opportunity and might pass you by. And I want to at least try it and see if we can make it happen. Hopefully we can. Each opportunity leads to the next one. You might get better at the next one. But man, I meet a lot of people that are different ages, and people have a lot of regrets. And I've had regrets too, but I don't want to have more regrets than I can handle.
Yeah.
I put it that
And
way.
I will say, like, a tactical way that I beat it, because I'm in a 9-to-5 job, which I love. And there's just some days where you're like, I need to get this, and that done. But it's very intimidating because it's a big list. First off, I break up my day into just 3 things I can accomplish today. So I have a massive list to do for the whole week, but I'm like, what do I cannot leave this building until these 3 things are done. So I do that so I can help myself stay on track. And then also, if you are coming close to the deadline and the finish line, and you're like, I can't like get the motivation to finish, switch up your atmosphere. Sometimes when I'm at my job, I'll go to a different location in the building to freshen up the atmosphere, get me in my creative space, or, put in some music in your ears, like whatever it is you need to do, go get a fresh beverage, come back, get it done, take a walk, like whatever you need. Those are some practical ways that I can get through procrastination and be like, no, let me stay on track and on schedule.
You have to know what motivates you, Nathan. So, for example, some of us are motivated by rewards, like, checking, like actually getting something physical, right? An actual reward. Sometimes it's the feeling of checking something off. That's your reward. You have to know yourself. And so, like for me, for example, I'm an achiever. So I love it when I can just check something off. Like I don't need something physical to reward me. And that keeps me from procrastinating, because I know, well, if I keep procrastinating, I'll never check this off. And so therefore I'm going to get it done. But others, like I've got a friend who literally the way he gets motivated is by rewarding himself over time. So for example, I'll use that example I mentioned before. I'm going to start swimming in the morning. So maybe my motivator, if I was rewarded by something, is I'll get myself a new pair of goggles in 3 months after I've gone to the pool once a day for 3 months, right? You have to know what motivates you and then leverage that for getting things done. And that's just helped me. And it's helped the people that I'm around too, knowing, hey, this is my motivator, then use that as a catalyst.
Yeah, I will say I'm pretty good at some things. Other things I tend to procrastinate a lot. And I think one of the things most people procrastinate, if this is your vision or you're working on something, writing a book, so many people I've talked to have said they want to write a book. They're in the middle of writing a book. They've written a book, but they haven't published it. And it's so easy to keep that, procrastination going. And so when I finally got really serious about not just writing, but actually publishing my book at the end of 2019, it really helped to, like Carly said, break things down to small manageable levels, as opposed to just saying, I'm going to publish a book by X date. Say, I'm going to have this chapter or this part of this chapter done by this date, and then break it down further. And then having external accountability. Like I was working with a hybrid publisher, so I had to have everything done and into them finalized by a certain date so we could publish, which meant that I had to have certain things done before that. And then I had to have, you just kind of start with the end in mind and back it up. And I had a whole spreadsheet that I was, actually following. And I had to really do that because otherwise I would have kept writing and editing going over and over it again. And so just saying like, nope, come hell or high water by this date, it's done no matter what, because I've got to get this done in order for the publisher to be able to get everything, completed. So that really helped in an area that I think a lot of people would tend to procrastinate in. And so I'm kind of just echoing everybody else, but that was a very real and beneficial exercise for me, definitely.
Ryan, what you just talked about is something that I've been working with my team at work on. And this is something that we utilize in project management philosophy. Some people call it lag and lead measures. Some people call it stretch goals and SMART goals. So I prefer that because it's easier to understand. But a stretch goal is something big. Like I want to write a book and it stretches on for a long time and it takes a lot of effort. But what you want to do is when you break that down into what's called SMART goals, right? So little manageable steps, like Ryan just said, that will get you to where you want to go. So forget the big goal, forget the stretch goal, set the big goal and forget it, and work on those small manageable goals along the way. And so in lag and lead measures, this is from 4 Disciplines of Execution from Sean Covey. But he talks about it in there where the lag measures, that big measure that lags behind all the others, and the lead measures is what you want to focus on. So build in those little things that are measurable that you can get little results out of. Just what's the next step? What's the next step? What's the next step? And before you know it, if you've gotten that big thing out of your mind, you just focus on all those little things, you'll eventually hit the big goal. So for example, if you want to lose weight, and that is a huge goal, and there's many different ways you can get there. So that's your big goal. That's your stretch goal. But your smaller goals in between is how many calories do you need to burn? How many times do you need to go to the gym? What does your heart rate need to be for a certain amount of time, right? Those little goals that will eventually get you your main goal. So just little ways that we all beat procrastination. But I think, Nathan, I hope that helps with procrastination.
I would like to add one more thing. Just surround yourself with people that are motivating you.
Mm-hmm.
When you're around other people, the procrastinators, you're all going to sit and have a procrastinating party, and no one's going to bring anything to the party because you're all going to procrastinate to go.
If you're competitive, your competition level will increase as you're around motivated people.
I love being around. That's why, when people say to me like, "Oh my gosh, Julieann, when I'm around you, I feel like I can do anything." Well, there was a time that wasn't me, but I was around people that did do that, and I was like, "Wait, I want to be like that." So that's my last thing I wanted to say is to surround yourself with people. And if you can't find them, get on YouTube, like what we're doing, or get on whatever, some kind of a platform, and listen to people that will motivate you into getting your stuff done.
I heard a great thing on, I think it was Instagram today. It was like a little reel video I watched. And it said, you're going to be doing a lot of work with no applause, with no one noticing you. No one's going to tell you a great job. No one's going to say, way to go, for a long time until you get it done. when you get it done, then people will start to congratulate you.
Oh, especially if they don't believe it. You're like, oh,
Yeah, they won't.
Never gonna.
Nobody
happen.
believes in you until you do it.
Then you do it, and you're like, oh my God, you're the greatest thing in the world.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. But no one believes in you until you do it. And so if you're looking for applause, it ain't going to come for a while. So just be prepared for that mentally.
That's so true.
I'll give you guys applause right now. I'm
Yay.
applauding you all right now.
All the visionaries. All right. So our next question is from Tommy on YouTube. Thanks for your patience, Tommy. He says, how can I spread inspiration positively into creative communities, or how can I be part of an already existing one to help them achieve the same goals? What can I challenge myself to achieve visions? So kind of two-part question there. But how do you spread inspiration positively into creative communities? I think that's a great question.
Well, I'd like to say this. Number one is, I would say for you, if you've never done this before, go and help someone else with their vision. That was the best thing I could have ever done. Was I got involved, if anybody remembers Tybo, Billy Blanks, I worked for him. I worked behind the scenes. Of course, I was in some of the videos. I worked and I carried his vision. I got his vision. I believed in his vision, and I loved what he was doing because it was resonated with me so much, because I love to work out. And I worked under him for 20 years to really learn and understand that, the ups, the downs, the in-betweens, and all of that. And that was the best thing I could have done. So I would like to offer that to you, to go find different organizations in that community and work under them. Learn how they operate. Learn what can be done. Learn your limitations, or what you're limited on. Learn your no limitations. Like, start finding out about yourself, because when you're going in there and you're volunteering, you're going to learn a lot about yourself.
I want to just point out this guy's name. It's Tommy the Shimmigami. I don't know what a shimmy, but we know he's the Shimmigami.
Right.
He's not just.
See, you're brave. I was gonna try to pronounce that, but
Tommy the Shimmigami.
So he must be the one, like
right.
the best Shimmigami there is.
The best Shimmigami ever. It sounds like an order you'd say at like a Chinese restaurant or something.
I'll take the Shimmigami.
I think the Shimmigami. Okay, so I'm trying to read the last sentence. What can I do? What can I challenge myself to achieve vision? What can I do to challenge myself to achieve visions? Boy, there's a lot of things. It depends on what your vision is. I don't know what your vision is. Maybe, Tommy, you could type in what your vision is, what you want to do. We can have a little more focus on how to help you. But what can you do to challenge yourself? The biggest challenge that we've been talking about is discipline. Yeah, discipline, volunteer to help somebody else. It's just getting yourself out of the house, or getting up every day and getting after it every single day. No one's going to give it to you.
How much do you love this kind of,
how much do you love what you do?
What do you love? Because if you don't love it, you're not going to get up at 5:30 in the morning and go get in the pool.
I got up at 5:30 this morning. But I didn't get in the pool.
See, I got up at 5:30. I didn't go to the pool this morning. That's what I'm working towards. Pray for me, guys.
I would say, how do I challenge myself to achieve vision? It sounds to me, if you're asking it that way, that you already know what your vision is. And that's a really great first step, because a lot of times that can be difficult to find, which if you haven't found your vision yet, that's fine. It's coming. But if you already know what it is, Vision Possible is for those who don't know their vision, who know their vision, but don't know how to get it done, or who are operating in their vision and want to go to the next level. So if you're in that second phase, there's so many ways to achieve your vision. It's just, you have to make it clear and actionable. So what is that dream state of what you want it to be? And then how can you start and move in that direction? So what are some tactical ways you can move the needle today to get your vision done? Is it starting an LLC? Is it starting a website? Is it hiring someone? Is it getting a logo done? What is it that can help you put this on the map to be like, no, I'm committing to this. It's not just an idea anymore. I'm actually going to do something towards it, because the more that I see it, the more I'll believe it. And that's one way to get it started and how to achieve it in the long run.
And I think the second part of that question that you just answered, Carly, is related to the first part about spreading inspiration positively into creative communities. That's what this community is for, right? Exactly that. So you're showing up already, Tommy, which is good. Try to take an active role. I definitely think that being able to help and encourage people in their visions will definitely feed your own, and vice versa. And when you can start collaborating with like-minded people, even if it's a completely different vision or industry, whatever it is, just being around that energy, like Julieann and Butch said earlier, is really important, because you start to feed off that and they start to feed off of you, and it starts to grow and gain momentum. So looking to serve and add value to other people, but then also being willing to make yourself accountable to other people. Like when I was working on my book and my podcast, when I hadn't ever done any of those things before, I had to make myself accountable to people personally and professionally, and that will really light a fire. And then sometimes just putting your money where your mouth is. Like if you invest something like a certain amount of money or a commitment, it's harder to walk away from it when people normally would. And so that's kind of I think a life hack in a way, is, where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. So without being financially irresponsible, being willing to put some money down that it's going to be a much tougher thing to walk away from, that's kind of like little ways you can almost trick yourself into staying committed and motivated, but then also continuing to seek out communities like this, looking online, just connecting and, networking with people who are like-minded. And, one connection leads to another, I mean, that's the reason I'm here in the first place. And I think we can all share different iterations of that same story. So those are a couple of things that I thought of from Tommy's question.
I would say just to add one last thing. When I first got to college, when I was 18 years old, I went to animation college. I went to art school at Cal Arts. And when I got there, I was the best artist in my hometown, my little town in Michigan. But when I got to college, everybody was unbelievable. Like I was like, I went to the major leagues, and I thought I was good, but I really realized I knew nothing. I thought I've got two choices. I can either give up or get better, so I can at least hang with these people, and at least, because I was going to go after the same jobs they were going for.
Right.
So it's either I'm going to get good enough to get a job, or have to go back home and start again. And the last thing I wanted to do was go backwards. I don't like going backwards. I always like to go forwards. So that was a way I learned. I got very competitive at a very young age, because I needed to for survival.
Yeah.
It's good. I'm going to add one more thing before we go on to Nathan, your follow-up question, and Dino Cation's question.
About the goggles again? Just about the goggles?
No, not the goggles this time. No swimming illustrations.
Okay.
Maybe I'll stick one in there. We'll see. But no, I feel really prompted to just say this, because I think a lot of people, like, if you're trying to achieve your vision, watch what's coming out of your mouth. So this is what I mean by that. A lot of times we can talk a lot about what it is we're going to do and how it's going to look and what we're going to do. And what happens when you do that is your brain is tricked into thinking it's actually happening. So for example, when you're saying, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to run a marathon, I'm going to run a marathon. Every time you're with friends and you're at dinner and you're with and you say, I'm running a marathon. And what happens is your brain is getting a dopamine hit of chemicals, and it literally feels like you're doing it, because you're getting the applause of men, of all your friends. Oh, that's awesome. Great job, Nathaniel. You're going to run a marathon. And then you never end up doing it, because you're getting your reward then and there. And so sometimes it's worth treasuring it in your heart. Like, you have this vision, watch who you tell it to, because people can be vision killers around you. Guard your vision. Share it with those who are closest to you. Share it with the people who motivate you and push you, not just the people who will just pat you on the back. So watch who you're sharing your vision with. Watch what you're saying. And if you guard that closely and you do it with people who encourage you, motivate you, hold you accountable to it, those are the people you want to share it with, not the people who just pat you on the back and say, great job, cool. So that's how we'll answer that question, Tommy. Hopefully that helped. We're going to move on to our next question. It's a follow-up question that Nathan sent in. This one's for Carly. So Carly, I saw your video on marketing and email funnels. Thank you. Where's a good resource I can go to next learn more about the funnels? I plan to launch my website next month in January.
I'm so glad that you asked that, because I always take video suggestions for the Protegé program for all of our video library. So I can totally do a deeper dive on that in my next video, which comes out in the next few weeks. I think it's next week. And so with funnels, it's really important. I think what you're referring to is the awareness, decision, interest, action funnel. And that's extremely important because it's my favorite funnel and it's what everything could be drafted off of. But I don't know anything about your business. And so if you want to leave in the comments or something of what your website is about, what your business is going to be, that'll be helpful for me to answer this more live. But if not, I can always do a follow-up in a video in a few weeks. But you really want to make sure that your audiences and your products are aligned to the right customer. So if your audience, is getting a product that doesn't make any sense to them, that could mean that you need a different funnel for them. It's not that you need to limit yourself to just sell one product to one person. You can literally separate your audiences via funnels. That's why it's really important. So depending on how much your product costs, depending on who your target customer is, how can you funnel them into a high ticket offer when they're starting off as a cold lead? That's what funnels are for, is to nurture them and to make them warmer throughout the process, but also to speak to them in their exact place in life. So that way you are able to warm someone up because they're interested in what you have to offer, but then you can tell them that it's you that they need, not the competitor that is going against you.
That
Good.
is awesome.
Good stuff, Carly.
Applause. There you
Thanks.
go.
All right, we've got another question from Dinocation. He says, what do you foresee in the future of entertainment with the rapid advent of technology? Will television go the way of radio, or will it continue on, as an example?
Yeah, do you have,
Am I
do you have all the
am I
answers?
taking that one? Oh, yeah, I'll take that one.
I've already zoomed your video, and it's all you, Butch.
No problem. No, TV. Let me just say this: the screen is not going anywhere. The phone screen is going to be around for the rest of our lives. So you want to consider that a TV. That's exactly what it is. You're getting an image, you're getting entertainment through a screen. So TV is not going anywhere. It's just what's going to be on the TV and how's that product going to be delivered. That's the only thing. We're living in a day and age where pretty much anybody can start their own channel now. You have your own channel on YouTube. We have a channel right here on YouTube, Vision Possible. This is this channel. So I really think what's cool about the way entertainment's going is when I was younger, 40, 50 years ago, you had 3 networks, CBS, NBC, ABC, maybe a couple small local channels. And there were gatekeepers and you couldn't get in there. You could try, people did. It was very hard to get in, but now anyone can have their own show if they want to. And you really see what people are made of now. People say, I want to do this. I want to get my show on this channel. And there's a lot of opportunity. I encourage people all the time to get on YouTube and put your idea.
YouTube is a great place.
All the time.
What I love is that we've been in big events and stuff. And so our daughter, Sophia, will say to us, like, Mom and Dad, you have no idea who those people are, but everybody here knows them just because they were YouTube
They were
stars.
on YouTube stars. Yeah.
They're like, people would be screaming for these kids. And you're like, what? But who are they?
Right. But the cool thing is, there's really no excuse anymore. If you want to get an idea out there, you can get the idea out there. There's no excuse. Now, will you make $1 million on day one? No, you won't. You won't even make $1 million day one when you get into television. So if let's say you do land that big show where NBC buys your program or Netflix buys your program, you are a long ways away from getting that dream deal everybody thinks about. You got to build a track record. You got to build a body of work. And YouTube and other, streaming channels like that, other websites like that, because YouTube is just a website. Think about it. Yeah. All YouTube is a website, just a giant, massive one, but it's a website, search engine. But you need to get your idea out there and test it and see how it does. It's great to be able to test stuff too and see if it's even working, if it has traction. I was sort of a YouTuber when I was in my teens back in the early 80s because I was making my own home movies with my little Super 8 camera and I was shooting my own videos and stuff. I guess you would call them.
You had no place to put them.
Had nowhere to put them, yeah. But now it's a lot different.
Yeah, I think that's so true. The company I work for too, this question comes up all the time because the 9 to 5 that I work at, we're primarily a television-based organization. Like we get all of our leads, everything through television. And what we've seen is people have been beating that drum for, the last couple of decades. Hey, we need to switch our model. We need to move to internet TV. We need to move to apps. Well, it all depends on the demographic you're looking to reach. So, for example, our demographic in my particular company is an older generation that still watches, cable TV, dish, satellite, etc. And even though we've gone into all those other areas, mobile apps, smart TVs, all that stuff, we still see the biggest response from television. Same thing with our CDs and DVDs. We attempted to switch over to USB, and you know what? We still sell more DVDs and CDs. It's a different experience. It's a different medium. You can pop it into your car. You can pop it in, to your stereo system. It's a different listening. Same thing with books, right? Everyone was saying, "Oh, bookstores are gonna die," and I know some of them did, like Borders and stuff. But the book industry is still huge, and people are still getting books to this day because the people want that physical copy. And this is just my personal opinion. But even with the advent of technology, I think as time goes on, people are going to get more and more leery of technology. We're already starting to see that happening. They're concerned their social media profiles are going to get shut down, or different things are going to happen. So people are starting to stock up on books and CDs and DVDs because they're physical and they can't get yanked off the internet. They can't get canceled off TV shows and canceled off different networks, right? And so I think we're going to see that maintain over time. That's just my opinion. But I definitely think you have to innovate, you have to change, you have to go with the times, but it's dependent on what demographic you're working with. And so, yes, television is good for certain things and it's not good for other things. Same thing with books or CDs or DVDs. The medium may have to shift over time, but yeah, that message, depending on your demographic, has got to stick.
Yeah, I think if even Carly's...
Any other thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, even look at Dave Ramsey, he's still got a huge radio show that's really successful. Now, they're also recording it. You'll see videos on YouTube of that. And podcasts can be a good kind of happy medium between that, to use a play on words, I guess. You've got the medium of, potentially radio. You've got the medium of the podcast space. And then you've got the medium of video and YouTube and everything else, because you can record yourself doing a podcast. I mean, you look at like the Joe Rogan show. There's all these different ways to take one recording or one session, if you will, one piece of content, and then spread it over a lot of different things and just kind of test it and see what happens. See are you getting more hits on YouTube? Are you getting more hits on iTunes? Are you getting more hits on, a radio if you're still using that, or a TV show? There's ways you can kind of hit multiple birds with one stone in this day and age.
Well said.
That's so good.
Hit those birds. Hit the birds.
Awesome. So this next question is kind of a finance question, but it's about the real estate market. So the question is, how should I invest in real estate? Is this a good time to buy right now in 2021? Ryan, I'll start with you.
Yeah. I mean, I think the first thing is, are you personally ready? Because even if the market was perfect, if you're not ready, if your finances aren't stable, one of the big things I tell people is, there's a lot of things that can happen that may or may not happen. Your house may increase in value. You may be able to rent it out. You may be able to increase rents. You may have all these different ideas, but the one thing you can set your watch to that is going to come in every single month without fail is the mortgage, right? So make sure no matter what, in any scenario, you are very confident you can continue to pay that mortgage so you don't get forced into having to sell at a loss like a lot of people, including me, did in 2008 and the downturn that followed. The other thing is, be aware of the market cycles. Generally speaking, we're definitely at the top of a cycle now. It could keep going. It's been kind of crazy. I can't believe it's gone as high and as far as it has. But then every market is local too. So be looking into the different measures. And there's all kinds of, I was doing a bunch of research in this kind of stuff a couple of weeks ago, just looking at, the National Association of Realtors website, looking at biggerpockets.com, which is a real estate investing forum. There's all kinds of data and analysis you can look at to see, where are interest rates now? Where do we think that they're going to go? There's no crystal ball, but there's some indications that probably couldn't go lower. So it's probably going to go higher. And then, just do a lot of research and talk to people who are successful in that. I'd say that's one of the biggest things, is talk to somebody who's already at the place you want to be and ask their opinion, ask them how they got there. What would they be thinking about? There's no one right or wrong answer to this question, but you don't want to jump into something foolishly. I learned that the hard way in 2008, but you don't want to sit on the sidelines forever either, because there's a lot of opportunity cost. People have been saying, there's a bubble is about to burst since 2013, and they missed one of the greatest real estate bull markets in history. And but the biggest thing I keep coming back to is, no matter what, at the end of the day, make sure you have more than enough to be able to pay that mortgage payment, because that is the one certainty you're going to have in that entire equation.
I like what you said too, Ryan. You said, just because the market's ready, are you ready?
I love that.
And that is a huge one. I mean, are you ready?
There's a big responsibility.
Again, that means getting smart people around you. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's so true. I've got another entertainment question. So this one's for Butch. How do you break into Hollywood when you don't live near Hollywood?
Well, that's a very good question. Again, that comes down to what you want to do. It depends on what you want to do. What's interesting nowadays, as the old people say, we employ a lot of animators right now, and they don't live in Hollywood at all. They live all across the country. Some of them live in Canada. And because you can do animation via the internet now. You'll still have to do it in your room, wherever you are, but then you can just send it over the internet. And gone are the days where you really have to have all of your crew in one room. Now, I personally prefer that. I think the creative process prospers a lot more in that environment. I don't think that will ever change. However, you don't have to live in Hollywood, but if you want to be in entertainment, that's where it's all done. So, yes, of course, it's done in other places too. They do it in New York. They do a lot of it in Georgia now. I believe there's places in Texas where they do it now. But you really want to try and get as close to the fire as you possibly can. And yes, I know.
Well, just getting to know people too.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all, a lot of this is based on who you know.
Every show I've ever sold, every project that's ever gone forward has been because I know somebody. Now, once I got the project going, did that help? No, it helped the talent and the skill and all that helped for sure. But I had to build relationships with people before I even got into the door. Trust me. Fairly Odd Parents, I knew a man named Fred Seibert who brought me into Nickelodeon because he liked me and he liked what I could do. And then once Fred and I agreed on Fairly Odd Parents, I said, Fred, this is the show I want to make. He said, go right ahead, Butch, because Fred was producing the show that Fairly Odd Parents would become a part of. And so Fred allowed me to do that. And so, but then it was my job to make the show great. Fred didn't have anything to do with it after that. I was like, hey, make the show good. So you need to get to know people, and don't be afraid to get out there and move to Hollywood or move to wherever it is you want to go.
It's definitely more expensive. So you really have to for anybody that's going to come here that doesn't have,
if you want the Hollywood dream, if you want the Hollywood career, that's all.
But this is not the place to come with no money. I will tell you that right now.
Don't show up with nothing.
Because there's people out there that prey, and I mean PREY, on people that have no money and that want to be, in the industry. So don't give them an opportunity to try to completely destroy your life. But come, I always tell people, you get $10,000 in the bank. I think that would at least set you for a couple months. But come with some money. You do not want to come on a hope and a prayer. Because
come as a disciplined person that wants to learn with resources. Don't show up, like you said, getting off the bus with $5. This isn't 1921 anymore.
No, and then what too is that
2021.
Our public transportation is not like New York.
It's non-existent.
You need to have a car, so you need it, and gas is expensive. It's like $5 a gallon. So, you got to take these things into consideration. Don't just show up, take the bus here, get off at the bus stop and say, it's all mine,
Buses still exist too. But I encourage you to come out here. It's a lot of fun if you can make it happen. But guys, it's a struggle like anything else. It's a challenge, and are you up to the challenge?
It's good. Carly, I'm going to ask you this question. I'm just going to kind of rephrase Nathan's various comments into one question here. But basically, if you have a nonprofit organization that is really focused on like a soft value proposition, not necessarily a hard sell, so it's more free resources. The goal of that funnel is to dive them deeper into the website and other offerings and social platforms, etc. But the main thing is free offers up to this point. How do you really push someone through that funnel? I'm curious too, because I have a similar model. I'm curious your thoughts on that. Like when you have a free offer, free resources, what does that funnel look like?
Yeah, totally. I mean, there's always going to be a funnel for any situation, B2C, B2B, or a nonprofit. And with nonprofit, your thing that is your big CTA, which means call to action, is a donation or a partner. So the donation is, like more of, I guess, a low ticket offer. The high ticket offer is becoming a partner, because that is someone that's locked in, that is always a partner with you every month. And so with free resources, all of the above, you can treat it as the lead magnet part of your nonprofit. The funnel applies to literally any model. You just have to fit in and plug in the fill in the blanks for your specific situation. So remember, I've taught you guys before on Google, just look up simple marketing funnel. It goes awareness, interest, decision, action. And again, you just plug it in depending on your situation. So your awareness is going to be your social media platforms, how you're going to be sharing this message, going on the radio, on TV, on YouTube, all of the things to make an awareness play with your nonprofit, with your business. And then interest is going to be all your free resources. So literally getting people plugged into your organization with their free resources. They get a ton of value in exchange for their email and their contact information. And then you're able to spark like an email journey. You're able to get them nurtured through that way. There's a whole thing you can dig into there, but it just literally applies to a nonprofit the same way it would a for-profit. It's just switching up a few of the things to match the actual model of your business. So again, your goal would be getting those partnerships, but also you're able to do the same structure of nurturing them, just applying it to your nonprofit specifically.
Yeah, and I just want to emphasize something Carly said. Yes, it's nonprofit on paper, right, Nathan? But in order to keep doors open, in order to keep you producing that content, even if it's just a website for now, and you got to pay your website hosting and your domain name and all that stuff, you still need to make some money. So you have to ask yourself, what is that model going to be? You can't just give away free resources forever. All nonprofits have to make some sort of money. So what is that going to be? Are you going to have, like Carly said, donations, partnerships? Are you going to charge events? Are you going to have like an upsell to actual physical downloads or products that you're going to ship or mail? Like, what does that look like for you? But don't make the mistake that we see people do all the time, which is, hey, we're just going to make it a nonprofit. Well, how are you going to keep the doors open? How do you keep your website up? How are you going to keep paying for those things? And so still identify what that model is. If there's a lot of free resources that get someone to that point of decision to partner or whatever it is, that's what you got to ask yourself. So before you launch your website next month, think through what is it that's going to keep the lights on for that website.
Yeah.
Awesome. So I've got another entertainment related question. This one's about writing a screenplay. So how do I write a screenplay?
That's a Butch Hartman question.
Wow. Gosh, you guys. Well, we've got some ambitious people out there. And, listen, if you want to write a screenplay, I am all for it. Yes. I think you need to go for it because, listen, a screenplay is just a story. It's what it is. But there's a certain format that it takes to be written in. And it is a big time commitment. If you want to write a screenplay, by all means, I empower you to do that. Not that I need to empower you, but I empower you to do that. But look, really know what you're getting into. And, definitely get some classes on how to write a screenplay, get some books, look at your favorite movies, see how they're structured. What's interesting about movies too, a lot of times the movie that's on the screen is far different than the screenplay that was written because a lot of people will get their hands on it. It'll change. Once you have actual visuals to look at with a movie, when things are shot, you start moving shots around, you take things out, you add, you just add things as the movie gets going. So sometimes the final screenplay is different than the actual movie. Some screenplays are based on books and the book is way different than the movie. So there's all kinds of ways to do it. But Nathaniel, the question was, how do you sell a screenplay or how do I write a screenplay?
How do you write a screenplay?
Oh, writing a screenplay, yeah. So you need to really be focused on what you want to do, what your story is, and have the classic 3-act structure. It always works, which is basically the beginning, the middle, and the end. And it's got to be compelling. It's got to pull the reader along. Your character has to, and the other thing too is interesting. The inciting incident has to take place in the first 5 or 6 pages. You're like, first 5 or 6 pages, like that's, you would look at each page of a screenplay as a minute of film. So 5, 6 pages.
How many pages should it be?
90 pages. And 90 pages is your standard
And
90-minute
what program
movie.
do you use to write your screenplay?
Well, it's not so much about the program, but you can get a program called Final Draft that will format your screenplay for you. It'll put like the dialogue and the descriptions and that type of stuff in there. But yeah, just learning about how to basically tell a story and then format it for a screenplay. That's about as simple as the answer I can give right now. But I really encourage you. I used the word empower before. I don't need to empower them. I need to encourage you to do that. So I encourage you to learn how to write a screenplay if you want to do that. It's very
maybe
exciting.
your next teaching you could just actually do something.
Yeah, I just uploaded a video today called Storytelling about how to begin structuring a story, and then
that's good.
Putting it into screenplay format is a very different situation. Yeah. And by the way, if you sell a screenplay, don't quit your day job. You will not become a millionaire. I'm just telling you that right now. You'll make money for sure if you sell it, but hopefully it'll get made. Most movies you see on screen were probably pitched 6 to 7 years ago, and now they're finally on screen. If they made it all the way through the 3-wing circus it takes to get them on screen. Yeah.
That is a great answer. That is awesome. Words of wisdom right there, guys.
Really a great answer?
I think so. I mean, I've never thought about that, like 90 pages and all of that. I mean, where can you get that anywhere else? That's a Butch Hartman answer for you right there. Someone who's been there and done it.
That's right, buddy.
That's right. Well, for those of you who might be just tuning in, who haven't been with us the whole time, we are Vision Possible, the Vision Possible team. We're here tonight taking your live questions. We still have time for 1 or 2 more if you want to send them in. If not, we'll probably wrap here in a few minutes. But for more information on who we are, what we do, you can go to visionpossible.net. That's our website. And you can learn more about our resources, our books, our different things. Really, our passion is for your daydream to become your day job, right? To move from just idea, whether maybe you don't even know what your vision is. How do you discover that? Maybe you know what your vision is, but you haven't walked out and taken those first couple of steps. We're here to help you, right? Motivate you, help you get those first steps. Or maybe you're walking in your vision and you just want someone to come alongside and give you a shot in the arm to keep you going, or just find fellowship or networking, right, for your desired industry. We're here for you. And we offer, of course, our Vision Possible Protegé program. I want to mention that. That gives you access to an entire video library that's ever growing. So it's all of our teachings that we've done for the past year, literally hundreds and hundreds of videos to this point that you can go learn about marketing, finance, vision, all of those things. So please take advantage of that. More information on visionpossible.net. We, of course, offer coaching as well to our Vision Possible Protégés. So go to visionpossible.net for more information.
Doing so good, man. Way to go, Nathaniel. Crushing it with the info.
That was the elevator pitch right there, guys.
Nice.
All right. So, well, thank you all for joining us. Is there any closing thoughts before we sign off for the night?
Well, I just wanted to say that, we're not going to see them till the first Monday of January. So we will already be in the new year. But you know what? Just really have some goals that like things that you really I feel that everybody walks around with like a list in their heart of things that they want to do, but never really gets on in their hand to write down those or to type those goals down. Start doing that now. Start writing down some goals, some things that you want to accomplish in 22.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, put them in the notes in your phone, or I text myself things all the time just so that I'll always have that on my feed, or write it down in a journal, in a notebook. But not just write it down, but write it down first and then start trying to figure out in whatever way, whether it's through a coaching program or it's through YouTube videos, how do I implement those? And which vision or which goal is for now and what's for later? That's another thing we could talk about on another broadcast, is that some things that you might come now to your mind, it might be in your heart, may not be for right now, but it might be later. So, but either way, it doesn't matter. Write them down. Habakkuk 2:2 says, write the vision down and make it plain on tablets. And I write down all those visions and I stick them in my closet where I walk in every day, many times a day, and I see them right there. And that way I always keep them right in the forefront of my
And it
mind.
also says that the vision's for an appointed time. So your vision might be years down the road, but you got to start building it now.
Yeah.
You got to start planting the seed now.
But Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Yes, this is the last Q&A we've had of the year. So, guys, thanks for joining us and being part of
Oh, and
Vision
Merry
Possible
Christmas.
this year.
And
Merry
Merry
Christmas
Christmas,
and Happy
people.
New Year. Yeah.
Yes. Merry Christmas.
Well, thank you all for joining us. We will see you next month, which is also next year, on our Vision Possible Q&A. So, thank you all for joining us. Have a great night.
See
Yeah, it's good to see ya.
Have a
Bye.